Alright everyone, it's fun rhetorical question time. Which of these names sounds familiar to you and is in the news cycle for the most part right now? Tony Bobulinski or Sacha Baron Cohen, or Borat, as he's better known at this point. I prefer Bruno. I am glad he's bringing back the Borat character. I will not deny that I am a big fan of his work, except The Dictator. It was all scripted. I want to see the new Borat movie. It sounds very funny. And the premise sounds actually really great, too. That being said, the legacy media right now, like New York Times, CNN, all the others, they're all talking about how Rudy Giuliani supposedly was in a compromising situation in the new Borat film, and there's like a clip of him on the bed looking like he's reaching down his pants. Now, the context is that as part of the setup here, which is meant for comedic purposes, a heavily edited clip of Giuliani will be there where there's like an interview with supposedly Borat's daughter posing as an actual like news interviewer. Now the actress is 24. In this context, this individual never warrants that they're underage, and of course, if someone's interviewing you for a legitimate journalistic outlet, you would assume that they're probably an adult. Generally speaking, there's such a thing as journalism school. They're probably 22 or over. This individual's 24 in the real world. Borat then runs in and says, no, she's too old for you, she's 15. It's a joke about Borat's supposed Kazakh home culture as well as about Rudy Giuliani. It's a non-issue. There's nothing compromising there. Nobody's suggesting that Giuliani, who is very old, but he's also a single male, has done anything particularly wrong in the situation. It doesn't look like he's really responding at all. The whole joke was that the interviewer was flirting with him. Again, as the setup for the she's too old for you because she's 15 double joke. But you probably haven't heard of Tony Bobulinski, unless you read Breitbart or maybe study Gateway Pundit, or you happen to be one of my subscribers. By the way, keep tuned because you're not getting the real news anywhere other than alt tech at this point. You can't even get it on YouTube half the time. They're still trying to throttle any upload that mentions Hunter Biden. I have to put in, this video will go in with a generic description because it mentions his emails. Otherwise, it'll never process. I kid you not. I think try it for yourself. And it started just after I was retweeted by the President of the United States. It's a coincidence, I'm sure. Just like YouTube's algorithms combing back through my shit and flagging videos as age-restricted, that's also a coincidence at this time. Very interesting days we live in. Now, Tony Bobulinski was a Biden associate. He worked with Joe Biden in the business capacity for a number of years. He is corroborating the Hunter Biden emails and saying he was part of the chain and it's real. Bobulinski has flipped. They're real. He's also claiming, in addition to that, yes, I heard Biden and his son openly discussing business deals. That's very interesting. See, even the first person who corroborated the email thread never said that. So now we have two people corroborating, yes, the emails are real. In which case, all the other stuff Giuliani's dumping, why the fuck would I doubt it? He's got people that were on the chain who have worked with the Bidens corroborating their realness. That's number one. He's got unique photographs of Hunter Biden that I'm assuming he couldn't have gotten anywhere else. Number two. You've got a total non-denial by Joe Biden about the emails. He just calls it a disinfo campaign. Right now, the legacy media, when they talk about the Hunter Biden emails, it always comes with a writer. Oh, well, this was part of Beijing or Moscow's campaign against Joe Biden, who, by the way, is performing about the same at the moment in all the top battleground states as Hillary Clinton did. Did you know that? Yeah, that insurmountable polling lead, not so insurmountable after all. Differential in enthusiasm, Trump takes the goddamn election. Any swing after the third debate, which is tonight, in which Trump is probably going to pound him on the Hunter Biden emails, I'm sure is going to swing this election. If Trump does a good enough job, he gains a couple of points, he wins the election. If he does a shitty job, then it'll take a little bit longer to figure out who's going to win. It might be that on election I'm like, I don't really know what's going to happen because I don't know how much I can trust the polling aggregates. So, look at the top battleground states and do a comparison. But this goes, I think, more into the farce that is legacy media news coverage at this point, especially with regards to anything that even remotely relates to Trump. More about that than anything else. You've probably never heard who Bobulinski was before you saw this video on whatever platform you're watching it. I would think that the legacy media, and tabloid-esque as it is, would judge that it's significant when you've got a situation where a person who wants to be the President of the United States has been apparently peddling his position as vice president prior in order to make money or shield his son and his firm from repercussions, as sort of a quid pro quo thing. Well, you give my son a lot of money and this prosecutor disappears. It seems like that's what happened. This is disqualifying. It's illegal. It would be illegal for Biden to have done this. And of course the FBI is going to sit on those emails and do nothing, which means that it's sort of like with the Cohen situation. You remember when he came out a couple weeks before the election, the last time around, basically told the nation, Hillary Clinton's guilty as sin, she's a corrupt sleazebag, but I'm not crazy enough to prosecute her because I don't want to wake up with a severed horse head in my bed or something like that as a warning to my entire lineage, so we're not going to charge her. This is basically the same thing, relying upon the public to react. Now, considering how many people have already cast mail-in or early voting ballots, it's going to have less of an effect. I don't really care. I don't think it's going to matter in the end stages of the election anyway. But so far, the public doesn't even know what the fuck is going on with the Hunter Biden investigation. When there's coverage, they just say, well, it's Russian disinfo campaign. Giuliani's working for Putin. Well, that's provably untrue. And again, as I pointed out yesterday, not one of these legacy media hacks would ever have said a bad goddamn thing about Rudy Giuliani. The America's mayor saved New York. Glorious, perfect man. That's what the accolades that they gave him were almost slimy, actually, until 2016. They gave him too much credit. They acted like he was fucking Jesus Christ. If he had run for the presidency in a more serious capacity, he probably could have nailed it. I remember he got edged, which election did he run in? And he got completely ass-blasted by McCain, I think, in 2008. Probably would have won against Obama. That being said, very popular guy, never considered to be particularly fanatic, and certainly not figured on being peddling foreign influence or getting influenced by the Russians. Now, of course, he's the devil because he's helping Trump. He's on the Trump team, so therefore Orange Man bad, ergo Giuliani man bad. And then you have this Borat scene that they're all talking about. None of them, as far as I know, have even mentioned Bobulinski. And again, a second Biden associate is corroborating the emails. The emails are damning. It needs to be investigated into and reported to the public in a fair manner. But that's never going to happen with CNN or the New York Times, the New York Slimes as they're sometimes called, or anyone. At this point, all the fair news, it's interesting that actually right-wing, very biased news sources like a Breitbart or a Gateway Pundit are literally the only place you can get proper news from. Never thought that I would see the day that would happen. Like, they're further out than Fox. Fox at this point has definitely flipped for Biden as well. They're not doing jack shit. Donald Trump, meanwhile, hopefully, again, at the debate tonight, is going to bring up Hunter Biden's emails. And I hope that he drives the point home multiple times, use every possible avenue to bring the conversation back to that, or the fact that Biden contravenes his own campaign website and cast him off as an empty suit, a corrupt has-been, basically. He had 50 years in politics to affect all the change that he says he wants now. He never did. He contravenes himself. He's a crooked, dirty dealer who's taken tens of millions, presumably, from foreign nations, and is in the bag for them. He's a globalist hack puppet. And really, he's also a Trojan horse candidate, not for Kamala, who I'm sure worries a lot of people because she's clearly out to lunch too in different ways. Like when she does her wine mom little dancing thing there, she looks like Ellen DeGeneres to me, to tell the truth. She's trying to be cool, trying to be trendy for the kid voters or something. For the under 18 demographic that I guess, usually votes Democrat because at this point ballot harvesting is a thing and there's no real voter ID check, so who gives a fuck? Especially in blue states, really for a cabal of backroom cigar-smoking oligarchs, most of which are, by the way, white males, just so you know. Not like Kamala, the diverse candidate, the diverse individual in the Biden team, but basically the affirmative action hire that Biden is using to grandstand. He doesn't give a fucking shit about anyone, regardless of their... He's a very equal opportunist, corrupt man. He's an equal opportunist crook. He doesn't care who he's stealing money from. Your race, your gender, your age, your creed, he doesn't care if you're straight or gay, he'll still steal from you. And he definitely does want to raise your taxes, and people, I think, are beginning to wise up to the fact that if the Trump tax cuts expire, oh, you mean that the doubling of the child tax credit goes away? You mean there's no longer a 20% offset for the self-employment penalty? You mean that literally every bracket will rise, including for lower income individuals? Oh, so my taxes aren't going to rise under this situation, says Ma and Pa America. Trust me, they will. That's about all. Peace out.